Channel Japan.
Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Kanae Takeuchi.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week we bring you the freshest information out of Japan right here from our studio in Tokyo.
From the economy, culture, and even food, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it. We'll be bringing you some unique ideas that could give a spark to your business.
First up is Executive Insight, in which we feature the heads of some of Japan's leading companies.
Yes, today we'll be hearing from the president of Yamaha Corporation, Mitsuru Umemura. Yamaha is best known for its musical instruments and motorbikes, like we have pictures over here. And they've now become separate companies, but the company that makes musical instruments have started to invest significant resources to develop new technologies in a variety of fields. Today we'll be looking at musical instrument maker Yamaha.
Well, Mr. Umemura speaks to us about the company's next strategy. Have a look.
Executive Insight. Yamaha is one of Japan's leading musical instrument makers. With annual sales topping $4 billion, it has also become a globally recognized name in the industry. Musician Elton John is said to be one of the many fans of Yamaha-made pianos. So what kind of company is Yamaha?
はじめまして、今日はお世話になります。津田と申します。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
The president is Mitsuru Umemura.
First of all, would you tell me how Yamaha got its start?
We were started by a man called Torakusu Yamaha, who was the first person to make an organ in Japan.
Torakusu Yamaha was originally a watch repairman. In 1887, he was asked by an elementary school to fix up a foreign-made organ that had broken down. This is an organ that Yamaha made at the time. In 1900, his company began making pianos. 6 million have been produced since then. We visited their factory that ships pianos around the world. From stringing piano wires to adjusting the keys, everything is done by hand. The job can only be entrusted to skilled workers with years of experience. Pianos aren't the only instrument made by Yamaha. This factory produces over 20 different wind and string instruments. The instruments are checked one by specialists.
このクラリネットが 100% の力を発揮できているのかなっていう気持ちをまず考えながら吹いてます。
Yamaha makes over 70 different instruments, enough to equip an entire orchestra. They boast the top share in Japan and globally, a quarter of all sales of musical instruments.
In Europe, the established companies are specialists in specific instruments, such as the French horn or string instruments. Many of them are small in scale and operate out of workshops that have been around for centuries. That's the traditional way of business for a musical equipment maker. Yamaha, on the other hand, has standardized the quality of its instruments. Through mass production, we've been able to offer our instruments at relatively affordable prices. We've been able to come this far because of mass production.
To drive sales of its instruments, Yamaha began offering music classes in 1954. At the peak, over 600,000 children nationwide were said to be taking piano and singing lessons at its schools.
Musical instruments aren't like home appliances. Getting people to try them out is extremely difficult. Getting people to enjoy music and teaching them how to enjoy music. These two things are what drives the development of the market. That's the most direct way to expand the market for our instruments. By offering quality products at affordable prices, we can grow the number of people who play musical instruments, and that can become our strength.
The company has grown into a major player in the industry, with sales reaching $5 billion in 2004. At the same time, the company faces a major challenge: the declining birth rate. The number of students at its music schools has fallen to about 400,000. In response, Yamaha has been aggressively pursuing another initiative. In 2001, they launched music lessons for adults. The target is the baby boomer generation. Many of them grew up listening to folk songs and rock music. Yamaha hopes to generate interest in musical instruments among this older demographic.
家内が息子に始めさせた時に横でやってみようかなと思って、自分は楽しいですね。練習すると猫とか逃げていきますけど。
Another area that they're focusing on: Asia. This is their piano factory in Zhejiang, China. Yamaha has increased production in the country over the past several years. In 2011, they churned out over 54,000 pianos, more than double the figure in Japan. China is in the midst of a piano boom. About 60% of piano students in the world are said to be in China. In 2005, Yamaha started offering music classes in China and currently has 6,100 students in 22 locations. Another major market is Indonesia. Music classes were launched in 1972, and last year they had over 40,000 students in 117 locations.
In our efforts to continue developing our business, markets outside of Japan have inevitably become our main growth drivers. As a natural consequence, the proportion of what we produce and sell overseas has increased.
How much is it?
It really depends on the product, but roughly speaking, our overseas sales and production have reached nearly 3/4 of our entire business.
This summer, Yamaha made a major decision to streamline their domestic operations. Yamaha has long been involved in various businesses unrelated to musical instruments. They make archery gear, operate resort hotels, and even had a home products division designing bath modules. But over the last decade, the company has been pulling back from its diversification strategy. And this year, amid the shrinking musical instrument and audio market, they announced a plan to cut their workforce by over 200 employees and close 4 domestic sales centers.
I understand you've implemented a plan to restructure the business. What is the ultimate objective?
In order for Yamaha to compete in the new global market, we need to become leaner overall. But at the same time, it's necessary for us to concentrate our strengths in technology development and product planning. That's the kind of restructuring we are putting in place. Our strength is naturally sound. We want to focus on products and services that are centered on music. That's the dream we want to realize.
Yamaha is returning to their roots in an effort to turn around the business. They are also trying their hand at creating new sounds. This is a voice synthesizing software called Vocaloid. The hit songs created by this software and sung by virtual idol Hatsune Miku have opened up new avenues for music entertainment. This is an electronic instrument called Tenorion. It allows people with virtually no music training to create music by simply pressing the keys.
This is fun. It makes me feel that even I can write a song.
We believe we have the responsibility of delivering instruments that use the latest technology. We want to give people a way to express themselves musically. I think that's what will help Yamaha gain respect and trust as a musical instrument maker. I can't predict where we'll go from here. There's an aspect of not knowing what the future will bring. How we enjoy music will change in ways we can never imagine. Musical instruments nowadays aren't always played in the traditional way. There's a new world of music opening up, where you input or type in music. Vocal and sound synthesis is becoming increasingly sophisticated. Given all those developments, it's impossible to say what the future holds. But I believe music from now on will be created using technology, as well as by young people who are passionate about their instruments. This is a new world that we are entering.
Yamaha hopes to continue spreading the joy of music around the world, one note at a time.
How do we build sustainability into our relationship with Mother Earth? That's Kaiteki, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
Suzuki Way of Life.
Hey, look at this. They're building a huge steel plant with Kobelco technology.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. They can make iron with incredible speed. What once took 8 hours can be done in just 10 minutes.
Wow, the Japanese are incredible. The country of karate.
Ha! 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 Karate has nothing to do with it.
True.
The talk of the world. Kobelco.
Just a map and a heart full of courage. Our founders started out with little, but they dared to dream big. Today our reach is global and our resources extensive, but we still have our eyes on the horizon. With courage, reaching out to the world. Mitsui & Company.
Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green air conditioning systems in Singapore.
Eco changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Asia, the engine of the global economy. Japan, a regional powerhouse. And now, direct from Japan, economic news with a global impact in Chinese and English, delivered by Nikkei. Read the future, lead the economy. Nikkei, Japan's leading media for business.
You're watching Channel Japan. In our next segment, we introduce some popular documentary programs being aired in Japan. Today, it's an episode from Japanese Dream by TBS. So, Utsuda-san, what's the topic for today?
The topic today is something called nature aquariums or aquascaping. Are you familiar with these?
No, not really.
I have a picture over here. As you can see, it's a way to recreate natural scenery like lakes and ponds inside a fish tank. And it's something that's becoming quite popular in Japan right now.
The aquatic plants really look like a natural river.
They do, don't they?
Yes.
But the thing is, growing aquatic plants inside a fish tank is actually a bit more difficult than it seems. But one person has developed a technique to do just that. So take a look.
One Japanese man is in the global spotlight. He's gained a movie star-like fame. The reason? Aquariums that captivate the imagination. This is the Tokyo Sky Tree in downtown Tokyo. Greeting visitors to the aquarium here is a big water tank designed by this man. He is 58-year-old Takashi Amano. He's an intimidating figure, and the staff are quick to follow his orders. Inside this massive aquarium, Mr. Amano is recreating the planet Earth.
I don't just want to show the fish, I want to show their habitat. This can teach children about nature. If you just talk about global warming, kids won't understand. But with a nature aquarium, it's right in front of your eyes.
The main actors aren't the fish. They are the lush aquatic plants. The concept was born out of a surprising discovery: mysterious bubbles in the water. transforming the world with aquatic plants. We follow Mr. Amano as he pursues a dream.
I have a dream.
Nature aquariums. Natural rocks, driftwood, and various aquatic plants are artfully arranged. Scenes from nature recreated inside a water tank.
Aquatic plants will lose their shape when you grow them from the top. So instead, I grow them from the bottom. Now, pay me. Okay, it's done. In time, this will be covered in aquatic plants.
As the plants grow, a dense forest will be created inside the tank. Rising are these bubbles. Typically, oxygen is pumped in for the fish, but here, it's carbon dioxide. Can the fish survive?
There's no need to pump oxygen into the tank. The plants will use the carbon dioxide in photosynthesis and release oxygen.
Most of us were taught in school that when plants receive sunlight, they absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. Aquatic plants, once fully grown, also release massive amounts of oxygen. These bubbles are all oxygen. That's why the fish are able to breathe.
The point isn't to get rid of carbon dioxide, it's to increase the number of plants. That's clear when you look at this tank. You can see the bubbles of oxygen floating up. You can see oxygen with your naked eye. This is something that's only possible in the world of water.
This rural landscape is what gave Mr. Amano his original inspiration.
This whole area used to be a lagoon. When I was in the 4th grade, they drained it. I remember it vividly. It was shocking, even at that age. I couldn't understand why they had to drain it.
The lagoon where a young Mr. Amano had played. Filled with aquatic plants and other living creatures, it was his paradise. At the time, Japan was in the midst of an economic boom. Land was being reclaimed and the water drained. The area was transformed into rice paddies. All trace of the lush lagoon disappeared.
There's not even a trace of it anymore. This is the waterfront of Japan. There used to be a place that was so beautiful. This is what a real stream looks like. Aquatic plants are the most vulnerable to water pollution.
Aquatic plants are home to many creatures and provide food and oxygen, but they are slowly disappearing from waters around the world.
In the past 50 years, we've pushed many creatures in lagoons to extinction. We've killed 99.9% of them. I want to revive them.
The environment isn't only for humans. With that thought in mind, Mr. Amano has begun work to restore such lagoons. Filling fields with water again may sound like a reckless idea.
The lagoons I saw as a child are the origin of my work. The dream of restoring them isn't something I can easily throw away. In reality, people around me are skeptical. But I'm not just dreaming. I'm being realistic. I'm going to do this.
Mr. Amano is carrying out a massive project at the Tokyo Skytree. A year and a half earlier, the Sumida Aquarium had asked him to design 2 large water tanks. They were to be the biggest in the world, the culmination of 30 years of his work.
Can we get another person in the tank? Lower that to the front. Slide it to the right. That's it. Can't you find a better way to do that? You're going to hurt yourself. You can't plant them like an acrobat.
Several 100,000 aquatic plants are planted using tweezers. It takes 8 hours for the 9 of them to finish the work.
I never imagined that we'd be designing such a massive tank. It's a lot of fun making these aquariums. I feel so lucky to be doing this. I'm looking forward to showing it to people.
Slabs of stone are lined up inside the 7-meter wide tank. But suddenly,
why is that happening? Are they going to topple over?
the stones topple over, and it's back to square one.
That's never happened before.
In the other 4-meter wide tank, driftwood shipped from the Amazon River is used to create a scene out of the wild. After 4 days, it's time to add the finishing touch. Water is pumped in. Suddenly, he realizes there's a pipe for seawater. These are freshwater plants, so there's no need.
Remove the seawater pipe. If seawater enters the tank, it's over in an instant. Why is there a seawater pipe here?
やっぱほら今後のこともあるから10年後とか持ってきとかないと後から持ってくることできないんでちょっとそれは勘弁してもらいたい。
Mr. Amano is furious.
一番行くのはいいですよ。ただやっぱりほら水族館の人間としては
That might be true, but to tell us that you can't remove the seawater pipe because you might cancel the display is insulting.
やめるかもじゃないですよ。
That's what you were suggesting.
じゃあ言い方が悪かったら謝ります。ごめんなさい。で、ただ
We're doing our best as well, so don't tell us you're going to keep the seawater pipe because you might cancel the display.
A living aquarium for the future of the planet. Mr. Amano is trying to send a strong message. That's why he was entrusted to design the water tank at the entrance.
Amazon が作ってるエコシステムみたいなものは間違いなく僕らの考えよりも先に行ってることだけ間違いないと思うんですよ。そこはかける価値はあるんじゃないですかね。そういうところにね。ドキドキですよ。正直。Amazon 大丈夫？って言いたくなる時ある。
2 months later, the world's biggest nature aquarium is unveiled. The aquatic plants symbolize the importance of greenery to stop global warming, that they can absorb carbon dioxide. The 4-meter wide tank recreates the planet's disappearing jungles using driftwood from the Amazon.
My ultimate message is the environment. How can we link this to the environmental problems we face now? If we can recreate a clean nature, we can build an environment in which fish and shrimp can swim happily. It's a message I want to deliver to people looking at this.
It's the opening day of the Sumida Aquarium. the globally renowned aquaculture artist quietly awaits the first visitors. They pass by Mr. Amano's tank without a glance. Most of the visitors have never heard of nature aquariums. Will Mr. Amano's aquariums and message resonate with visitors? There were a lot of challenges, but in the end, it was worth the effort. We humans are like the fish in this tank. If people realize that, then they'll become more interested. If the fish eat all of the plants, then there'll be too much carbon dioxide in the tank. They'll eat away the environment they depend on. It's self-destruction.
They look just like Japanese bonsai.
They do, don't they? They have a relaxing effect, I think.
Yes. How did Mr. Amano come up with the idea of putting carbon dioxide into a fish tank?
It's unique, isn't it? And this is actually what did it. Something pretty simple.
Yes.
Soda water. So this gave him the idea of putting carbonated water into a fish tank. And by exposing it to light, he realized he could trigger photosynthesis, where plants process carbon dioxide and release oxygen.
Well, we all remember learning about photosynthesis in science class in elementary school.
Oh, we do, don't we? And Mr. Amano's company has actually been holding aquascaping contests since 2001, where people from around the world compete to design the best layout. And I have a few pictures of the grand prize winners of the past contests. This is the winner of 2008, an artist from Hong Kong.
Wow, it looks like bonsai underwater.
It really does, doesn't it? And the next picture is the winner from 2010, an artist from Russia.
Looks like real dense forest in Russia.
It does, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a fish tanker anymore.
Not at all.
And the winner from last year, 2011, is from Vietnam.
Wow, they look all great. These would be amazing to have at home. And a lot of grand prize winners are from Asia.
It is the case. In the past 5 years, 2 of the winners have been from Hong Kong and 2 have been from Vietnam.
This is something I'm sure would be enjoyable not only to see up close, but also to actually try making by yourself. After the break, we'll be bringing you an episode from a popular economics program in Japan. Today, it's an episode from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite. Don't go away.
My parents work at a really great company, which makes cool computers and LCD TVs. Not only that, they build elevators for skyscrapers and zooming fast bullet trains. My mom designs the company's CT scan systems, which spot diseases. My dad develops power generation systems so people will have plenty of electricity. The company where my parents work is Toshiba.
Has anybody finished doing their pictures?
I have.
All around the world, Toshiba technology is hard at work, bringing smarter, faster, more sustainable development to life.
When I grow up, I want to work for people.
For a growing future, Toshiba.
How do we build sustainability into our relationship with Mother Earth? That's Kaiteki, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
Enjoy traveling around East Japan. The Shinkansen will take you to the land of nature and hospitality. East Japan Railway Company.
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Changing emissions from copper refineries into fertilizer. That is where Sumitomo Chemical got its start. For 100 years, we've been delivering the power of chemistry around the world. And we will continue to help make the world a better place for the next 100 years and more.
The search is on to discover the next creative master of Asia. Japan's leading TV and radio network, TBS, brings to you the Digicon 6 Awards, giving visual artists in Asia an opportunity to create their dreams. Whether it's a short drama, animation, or music video, if it's yours, you may be the next winner of the Digicon 6 Grand Prize. For more details, check out digicon6.com. It's time to create your dreams.
You're watching Channel Japan. In our next segment, we introduce some popular economics programs. Today, it's an episode from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite.
What kind of things do you do with your smartphone?
体重とか体の体調管理みたいなのの記録はしてます。起きた時間、寝た時間、そういうのも入れてる。手作りのアクセサリーがあったんで、それをちょっと撮ったりさっき撮ったんですよ。
Keeping a digital record of daily activities or locations is being called a life log in Japan. With the spread of smartphones, it has become a fast-growing trend. We visited a self-proclaimed life logger in Ichinomiya, Aichi Prefecture.
おはようございます。どうもおはようございます。おはようございます。よろしくお願いします。
Ryusuke Goto is a 32-year-old who lives alone in this house. When we knocked on his door, he was in the middle of his breakfast, some udon noodles mixed with egg.
うどんです。釜玉うどんっていうような。今から何をするんですか？ご飯の写真を撮ってます。まあこんだけなんです。
As he eats, he uploads pictures to the internet with his smartphone.
まあ面倒なんでこんだけです。
He does this breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
食べ物の写真撮って何の役に立ってるんですか？完全に趣味だと思います。今のところ。
On his computer are pictures of the meals he's had every day so far. When he eats out, he keeps a record of the name of the restaurant, address, and time, as well as his impressions of the taste. There are pictures of desserts as well. On this day, he had a popsicle. Mr. Goto is obsessed with record keeping. His weight is no exception. He also scans receipts from purchases. What's the purpose of all this?
将来使えるかもしれないから残して見てるっていう要素の方が大きいです。
On this day, he travels from his home in Aichi Prefecture to Tokyo. On the way, he records the location data of the station where he changes trains. Once on the Shinkansen, he's ready to snap another picture. A lunchbox. He attaches a note.
Seat 座ったらここにビールの空き缶となんか2つぐらいゴミが散らかってそのまま捨ててあっていやなぜかというか結構腹が立ってしまい。
Mr. Goto arrives in Akihabara, Tokyo. He recalls an incident in which his life log was a big help.
財布を落としたんですよ。その時はで財布広げた写真とかも確か撮ってたんですよ。でそれ見て今これとこれを入れてるんだっていう何カードかとかって意外と覚えてなかったりとか。
Since he had taken pictures of all the cards in his wallet, he was able to quickly cancel them. Mr. Goto is a full-time life logger, but is the data worthless or a gold mine? He says he's not sure. One researcher is hoping to use the data from life logs to predict the future. Toshiki Takeuchi has just bought some items at a convenience store on campus. When he returns to the laboratory, he scans the receipt. This is part of his research to predict the future.
こんな感じで今読み込ませたレシートの画像がここに出ているんですけど、店舗名、あとは合計の金額だったり何を買ったかっていう商品名まで自動的に取って記録します。
What's the purpose of collecting data on the time, price, and place of a purchase? He's made an application to predict future spending. The display shows a warning as well as an address and the amount of $5. The warning is meant to tell the user of the high probability that $5 will be spent at this location. This is a red alert. Data taken from past receipts are used to predict future purchases. There is even a forecast for the following day. It says the user will spend close to $13.
ブログで過去を楽しむってことももちろんあるんだけれども、過去の経験を蓄積していって将来もっとより賢く生きるとかね、そういう部分が重要だと思うんですね。
Yoshio Ishiguro of the University of Tokyo's graduate school is conducting an experiment with a pair of camera-equipped glasses. The video data is stored in a computer in his backpack. So, what did the camera capture? He showed us back in the laboratory. On the screen is a blinking green dot.
これはメガネに取り付けたカメラで撮影した私のライフログデータで、この緑の点というのはこの時私がどこを見ていたかという視線の情報を表しています。
The glasses are attached with two cameras. One is to capture the scenery. This is the other one. Its purpose is to record eye movements. Together, they can indicate what the person is looking at, such as the bicycle or parked car. During a conversation, the eyes may focus on the face. Data such as this can indicate what's catching the interest of the wearer.
目で物を見るっていうことそのものを後ろでコンピューターが支えてくれる、そういうなんていうか人間の、ある種スーパーマンみたいな人間の能力そのものをコンピューターの力で拡張できる。コンピューター使いこなすというよりかはコンピューターがもう自分の中に取り込まれてるみたいな、そういう世界だと思います。
As information technology continues its march forward, what future will we see next?
So, Utsuda-san, what's the next topic?
The topic is minor metals. They're used to produce everything from home electronics to mobile phones and even hybrid cars.
It's been a big topic on the news in recent years.
It has. And we've brought some of the metals into the studio today. I'm sure one isn't very familiar with these. But this one is pretty unique. Can you pick it up?
I can't pick it up.
It's unbelievably heavy,
so
isn't it?
heavy.
It's called tungsten, and it's known to be extremely hard and heavy compared to other metals, and that it's used to make industrial tools like drill bits, and also used for filaments for electric bulbs.
But I hear it's quite difficult to mine in Japan.
That's right. About 97% of minor metals in the world are produced in China. And, of course, Japan is heavily dependent on imports from its neighbour. But now there's growing efforts to recycle these metals from discarded electronics and mobile phones and to reuse them.
Well, let's take a look.
Last year, a new facility opened in Musashino, Tokyo. Its name, the City Mine Development Office. Inside are piles of old electronic appliances. Among them are disassembled radio cassette players and DVD players. This facility collects such discarded appliances and takes them apart to retrieve reusable circuit boards, cords, motors, and other parts.
頑丈に昔のものは作られているので分解しにくいっていうのがありますので、ただ古い家電の方が金とか銀とかそういったものが混じってる可能性が高いと。
Small appliances contain especially large amounts of valuable elements. Recoverable rare and minor metals are said to be worth about $1 billion. But over 40% of small appliances are disposed of in landfills and not recycled. That's why the city set up the office to mine these urban resources. They are searching for rare and minor metals, of which market supplies are scarce. There are 31 so-called rare and minor metals, including cobalt, nickel, indium, and palladium. They are used in flat-panel televisions and mobile phones, and with growing demand from emerging economies such as China, prices have surged. This August, a new law took effect to promote the recycling of such metals, with local governments tasked with collecting small appliances that have been discarded. Companies that rely on these metals are also getting involved. This is one urban mine which is especially busy during the summer. Inside are mountains of air conditioners.
7月8月はもうエアコンの回収もピークになっております。
This is a factory of a subsidiary of Mitsubishi Electric. Here they disassemble used air conditioners and TVs. They are removing the compressor, which contains large amounts of a certain resource.
このネオジムという磁石が使われておって、非常に効率よく 省エネで運転することができるコンプレッサーになっています。
Neodymium has strong magnetic properties, but since it's a magnet, removing it from the compressor can be difficult. So they use something else.
ネオジム磁石の回収設備になります。
Mitsubishi Electric developed a machine to automatically remove neodymium from air conditioner compressors. The development cost was about $400,000. First, the compressor is sliced sideways. Then the section containing the materials is placed in the machine. Inside, the powerful magnets are demagnetized in an instant. The sound indicates the process is done. It yields just 4 neodymium magnets from one air conditioner.
すべて廃棄されてましてね、廃棄って鉄スクラップとして、売却されてたと思います。中国の輸出規制がかかりまして、非常にレアアースが高騰した時期にこの投資の決断をしております。
Saga Prefecture. The engineering department of Saga University is carrying out a slightly unusual experiment. They are using a local specialty to search through an urban mine.
こちらはこちらのみかんのジュースカスを乾燥させて砕いて粉にしたものです。サラサラです。
Mandarin oranges are a specialty of the region. But they say other materials, such as paper and cotton, can also do the job. First, the powderized orange pulp is mixed with hydrochloric acid and heated. When the mixture is filtered, a black powder is left over. This is what's used to recover the resources. Meanwhile, the powder here is the circuit board of a mobile phone that was burned and pulverized. The pulverized mobile phone, hydrochloric acid, and the black-orange pulp powder are mixed. The process is carried out slowly over 2 days. And what emerges is gold.
小さな粉になってですね、水面の上にぷかぷか浮いております。これをすくい取れば金がバッチリ取れるということになります。
98% of the gold content can be removed. Until now, it was necessary to use cyanide, a highly toxic material, to remove gold from pulverized home appliances. But unlike cyanide, oranges are not hazardous.
みかんのジュースカスというふうな私たちの身の回りにたくさんあるようなそういうものを使ってグリーンな回収技術を開発しようと今でもいろいろな会社からアプローチがあっています。
Japan is said to be a resource-scarce country. But a gold mine may lie just underneath its urban waste.
Well, I'm surprised that mandarin oranges are being used in the recycling of minor metals.
It's rather unique, isn't it?
Yes.
According to the Japanese Environment Ministry, minor metals contained in discarded electronics and mobile phones amount to 230 tons every year. And in monetary terms, that amounts to about $170 million.
That's sort of a huge figure. It'd be a waste not to recycle and reuse them.
That's true.
in terms of mobile phones, how much minor metals are being used?
Well, for example, one mobile phone contains about 10 types of minor metals, or about 2 to 3 grams. So many Japanese, myself included, have a couple of mobile phones sitting at home without being used. And if these phones were collected from everyone, a pretty significant amount of these metals could be recycled.
I also have a couple of phones at home that are just sitting in my closet.
You do.
It really seems like a waste now.
Could be. Another example is hybrid cars, in which Japanese companies are technology leaders, and one hybrid car contains more than 15 types of metals. So this is another area where they could be recycled from, and one maker has started collecting used batteries and to recycle nickel that's used in them.
Well, before we end this program, we both have announcements to make. Well, I'm leaving the show because I'm moving to Brazil with my family. And Utsuda-san also has happy news of her own.
Yes, I'm taking maternity leave, but I hope to come back sometime next year, hopefully.
Over the past half year, we are so grateful to have had the opportunity to present this program to our viewers in Asia. It was a wonderful experience.
We hope we have another chance to see you again.
Well, that's all for this edition of Channel Japan. We have much more in store for you next week with the new hosts, so don't forget to tune in.
As the future evolves, Toyota is envisioning a more interconnected life where information and energy flow seamlessly throughout the globe. The road ahead will require diverse and eco-friendly mobility solutions. It is on this path that our small choices lead to big changes. Life. Connected. Toyota.
The Norin Chukin Bank has a mission to fulfill. We are committed to the advancement of agriculture, fisheries, and forestry in Japan. Backing the network of our people and communities to help and support one another is a source of pride for us. This is our style of banking. We're banking on trusted networks. The Norin Chukin Bank.
We've just added a new power shovel, and it's great.
Really? Who makes it?
Kobelco.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. And let me tell you, its fuel efficiency is incredible.
Oh.
Kobelco's power shovel delivers more while consuming less. Just like my sweetie.
Don't say that.
And powerful, too.
The talk of the world. Kobelco.
A habitat for many species threatened by extinction, it also protects local communities from cyclones and mudslides. By protecting nature, we help protect a way of life.
Panasonic is active in tree planting and many other environmental initiatives worldwide. Panasonic, ideas for life.
For performance without precedent. Technology meeting the challenge to be better. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is a leader in aviation technology. Technology that gave birth to the hollow-head engine valve with enhanced cooling characteristics. It's a quantum leap for automobile engine. Our technologies, your tomorrow. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries.